Ronaldo's turning point at Nacional. Talent against all odds. Imagine a 10-year-old boy, skinny as a reed, running barefoot across a patchy field in Madeira, his toes gripping the dirt because his family can't scrape together enough for a pair of shoes. That's Cristiano Ronaldo in 1995, a kid whose talent shone brighter than the sun beating down on his island home, even as poverty clung to him like dust. This is the story of his step up to Nacional, a club that marked a turning point, and the gut-wrenching choice at 12 to leave everything behind for a shot at a better life in Lisbon. It's raw, it's real, and it's where CR7's legend started to take root. At 10, Ronaldo wasn't just another kid playing soccer. He was a force. His family was still drowning in hardship, squeezed into a crumbling one-room house in Funchal. His dad, Jose, hauled gardening tools for a pittance and spent too many nights lost in liquor. His mom, Maria, scrubbed floors till her hands bled, feeding 4 kids with scraps. Sometimes just bread, sometimes nothing. Shoes? A dream they couldn't afford. Ronaldo wore hand-me-downs from his brother Hugo, soles flapping, or went barefoot when they fell apart. I didn't care, he'd say later, voice steady. I had a ball, and that was enough. But it wasn't just any ball. It was his rag ball, patched together from socks and string, the same one he'd kicked since he could walk. And when he stepped on a Nacional's field, a bigger club in Madeira, that ball became his wand. He'd outrun boys with proper boots, weaving through them like a ghost, left, right at the sudden dart, leaving jaws dropped. He was small, but unstoppable, a teammate once said, like he was playing for his life. At 10, he wasn't just fast, he was clever, reading the game with eyes too sharp for his age, slamming shots that rattled rusty goals. Poverty couldn't dim that light. Nacional wasn't Andorinha, the little club where his dad swept floors. It was a step up, a chance to face tougher kids, better coaches. Ronaldo showed up with nothing. No gear, no money, just hunger in his gut and fire in his legs. His boots, when he had them, were borrowed or broken, laces tied and knots to hold them together. But barefoot or not, he played like he owned the pitch. He'd take on 3 at once, a coach recalled, and win. His dribbles were magic, quick flicks, tight turns. His shots fierce, arcing past keepers who couldn't believe a kid so small hit so hard. He still cried when they lost, earned that crybaby nickname, but it wasn't weakness. It was heart. Losing hurt more than hunger, he'd admit, because it was mine to fix. At Nacional, he scored goals that made parents whisper, coaches nod, and opponents groan. 10 years old, no shoes, no full belly, yet he'd chase every ball, tackle bigger boys, and get up when they shove him down. That kid's got something, they'd say in Funchal, something you can't teach. His talent wasn't just skill. It was a roar, a promise that poverty wouldn't keep him small. Life didn't get easier at Nacional. His dad's drinking grew darker, a shadow Ronaldo couldn't outrun. His mom worked herself ragged, walking miles to clean rich folks' homes while her own kids shared a creaky bed. Some nights, I'd hear her pray. He'd recall, voice catching, for us, for me. Money stayed tight. Gio de bong was a luxury they couldn't touch. He'd walk home from practice in the dark, stomach growling, feet sore, clutching that rag ball like a lifeline. But on the field, he was free. Every kick a defiance, every goal a shout. I'm here, and I'm going somewhere. Nacional saw it. Coaches watched this barefoot kid outplay everyone, his speed a blur, his focus unbreakable. He'd stay late, one said, kicking against walls till the stars came out. At 10, he wasn't just good. He was different, a raw diamond cutting through the dirt of Madeira. Word spread beyond the island. This boy could be big. But Madeira couldn't hold him. Nacional was a step, not the top. Ronaldo knew it, even then. I wanted more, he'd say, not just for me, for them. By 12 in 1997, Ronaldo faced a choice that'd tear most kids apart. Nacional had given him a taste, better games, bigger dreams, but it wasn't enough to lift his family. The island felt like a cage, its cliffs closing in. Then came the call, a trial with Sporting Lisbon, hundreds of miles away in Portugal's capital. It meant leaving everything, His mom's tired smile, his dad's unsteady nods, the dusty streets he'd conquered. I was scared, he'd admit, but I had to go. His mom sat him down that night, hands trembling, tears in her eyes. "If you can do this, son," she said, voice breaking, "go. I want you to have what we never did." Maria's words weren't just permission. They were a sacrifice, a mother's heart cracking open to push her boy forward. He packed a bag, 2 shirts, 1 pair of pants, no shoes worth a damn, and flew to Lisbon alone. 12 years old, no friends, no safety net, just a rag ball and a talent that burned too bright to stay buried. "I cried the first night," he'd say, "but I knew it was my shot." Sporting's coaches saw it instantly. No polish, no gear, just a kid who ran like the wind and kicked like thunder. That trial wasn't the end. It was the beginning, the moment Madeira's barefoot dreamer stepped toward destiny. Nacional had been his proving ground, but Lisbon would be his launch pad. A boy who'd outplayed poverty with every kick was ready to change his life, and his family's forever.